What is up, everybody? You are very welcome along to Friday night's late night agenda on the eve of the Reds kicking off their defence of the Premier League title, obviously at home to Leeds United, which is going to be an interesting game tomorrow. Just a reminder that we will, of course, be doing a watch-along, ladies and gentlemen, starting at 5 p.m. tomorrow with the game kicking off at 5:30. That'll take us right through to our post-match show as well. I'm going to be joined in my house by Mr. Connor Crosby for the day as well, so you're going to have some co-commentary on the game, so I hope you can join us for that one. But look, I hope you're all well. Loads to talk about. People in the chat going 8:32, like I'm 2 minutes late. I mean, allow me 2 minutes. You know, I do lead a busy life and all that. So we were just changing some images, as you can see. New third kit out today. We'll talk about that later on. We'll talk about the title of tonight's stream. I know a lot of you guys are going to be wondering about it. You're going to ask me, Craig, what the hell is this about? I'll get to it. Don't you worry about that, ladies and gents. Look, I hope that you're all well. I'm just trying to update the chat as we speak. Loads of you in. Lovely to see you, and thank you. What are we thinking about Thiago? I want your thoughts on that as the night goes on as well, ladies and gentlemen. But I thought I would start with Jurgen Klopp's pre-match press conference ahead of the Reds Premier League opener. He gave an update on Jordan Henderson, and this is what he said. Not decided yet. We'll make a late decision. Looks rather promising. We have a lot of players available. Not all of them will be involved. So it maybe sounds like the gaffer's paving the way for Hendo to perhaps start it on the bench as well. Which makes sense. I mean, he hasn't played a minute of pre-season football for the Reds, obviously. So I wasn't really expecting him to start this game. Johan, thank you very much for the super sticker. I wish I could eat the slice of birthday cake, mate, but it does look tempting. Right, he went on then to talk about Marcelo Bielsa, the Leeds coach, obviously, somebody who all managers hold in high esteem. And this is what he had to say about him. He said, I remember the analysis around the Derby game. It was so much, I'm not sure we have as much. We haven't seen any suspicious people around our training ground this week. He really pushes his ideas through and he is a success. I admire him, but I was never close enough to really speak. His teams are exceptional. I analysed some games and looked at it. Different approach. I like him without knowing him as a proper character. Hardest working of us all, maybe. And I've said this to you guys so many times about Leeds' coach. He does not leave a stone unturned. So he will have his players ready and prepared to come to Anfield tomorrow. I mean, what more could Leeds want? Kicking off the Premier League season at the home of the champions. They're going to be up for it, folks. And I'm really excited about it. John Conway, thank you so much, mate, for the super chat. You're very kind indeed. And appreciate the birthday wishes, buddy. Right, he went on there to talk a little bit about Rhian Brewster as well, and he said, nothing to say, wonderful kid, big talent. The decision about the squad are not just finished yet. What did he say? We're really with him and we think about his development. How can we use him? There's nothing to say, loans, etc. Nothing decided. And then when he was asked about the speculation linking Rhian with a move away, he went on to say, we've nothing to say about it. Rhian is our player, a wonderful kid, scored a lot of goals in pre-season. The perspective is on the squad. We're really with him and thoughtful of what is best for his development. There's nothing to say. Who's going on loan and where? There's nothing decided. Otherwise, they would already be there. And then he went to talk about Gini Wijnaldum as well, and I'll touch on that in a second. Liz, again, thank you so much, mate, for the super chat. You're very kind. You're all spoiling me today, ladies and gentlemen, as of course my good lady wife did. Now, I've decided that because I'm 39 years of age, I don't want another birthday after this. So instead of having a 40th birthday, I'm just going to have updates. So it's going to be Craig 39.1 and then Craig version 39.2 and so on. I'm just going to download new life software every year rather than actually going and celebrating a 40th next year, because no one wants to be 40. I'm never going to be 40. I'm going to be in my 30s forever, and that's what I'm saying, and I'm sticking to it. Gini Wijnaldum. Now this is the one. This is the one that we're all wondering about. What is going on with Gini? Because Gini Wijnaldum could hold the key to this potential Thiago transfer. This is what he had to say about Gini in his pre-match press conference. He said, it's all good with Gini, absolutely fine. About the future as far as we're involved, I can't speak about a few years, but it's all good at the moment. You know the situation between me, Gini at the club and the club, everything is fine. Then he went on to talk about the Thiago link, and look, we're going to get stuck into this in more detail again as the stream goes on. If I would invent words that would end speculation, I would become rich. Did I mention that Thiago is a really good player? It's nice that we're linked. That is pretty much it. Good player, linked to a big club. That is nice. That's all I can say about it. So the gaffer was kind of keeping tight-lipped with regards to Thiago. Didn't rule it out. Didn't really rule it in either. So what are we thinking on this? I mean, there's good vibes coming out now about the Gini situation from the club. You've seen Sky Sports talking about a positive meeting between Jurgen Klopp and Gini Wijnaldum, and hopefully that could lead to Gini Wijnaldum getting a new contract, because we do all want Gini to get a new contract. I don't think, if we were to put Thiago aside and just look at Gini on its own, I don't know a Liverpool fan that doesn't want Gini Wijnaldum to sign a new deal and stay at the club, because he's earned that new deal. He's been part of the success that Jurgen Klopp and this group have built. Del Boy, thank you so much for the super chat. And again, Farwell, thank you so much for the super chat as well, buddy. You're all spoiling me tonight. You're very kind indeed. Craig 39.0. That's it. And that's what I'm sticking with. Right. Transfer talk to get through tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as well. But I want to know your thoughts on Liverpool's third kit. As you can see from the images either side of me tonight, the Reds did release the last of the shirts this season, the third shirt. It's a checkered shirt. I've got to say, I'm not a fan. Personally, it's not something that I'll be buying. But, you know, different strokes for different folks. I like the away shirt. Not a lot of people do. Not a lot of people agree with me, I should say. Some people, it's one of those split down the middle. Some people love it, some people hate it. I love it. This one's not for me. It kind of reminds me of the Croatia shirt. I'm sure you've probably seen the side-by-side images as well. It's supposed to celebrate a European night. I think the checker design is to do with the flags and the cop and stuff like that as well. But it'll be a pass from me, but I'd love to know what you guys think. Have any of you guys went and pre-ordered it or anything like that? Loving the new set at Alex Crawford Guitar. Thank you very much. New season, new work from Mr. Connor Crosby. As you can see, he's always working away hard, trying to change things up and make it that little bit more sexy. Because Christ knows I'm not going to be making anything more sexy. I decided today, actually, I'm going to wear this shirt for the first time on the stream. This shirt that I have on now is a copy of the exact same shirt that I had, the first ever Liverpool shirt that my father bought me. So I thought today and the day that's in it, I'm going to wear this shirt. It's my favourite Liverpool shirt of all time with regards to an away shirt. Home one, same year, probably the same shirt, or even the one before, the Crown Paints one. Slumber said third kit is the nicest in his opinion. Good. Glad to see that a lot of people do like it. Ann Keith said save the best for last. Wow. I think the home one to me is the best of the bunch for this season. Apparently people say we're copying Croatia's kit. It looks exactly the same, but still, nevertheless, it looks great. I guess I'm in the minority on this one. Loads of people showing lots of love to the kit. It's not my favourite, but you know what? That's the thing about kits, isn't it? There's 3 kits out there. Surely there's one that we'll all like. Inspired by Loverance and Kieran Shield. I like it. Alec McDonald, thank you very much for the super chat, sir. I've said before I'm a United fan, but love the content. Happy birthday. This is United's year. Well, actually, Chris Waddle might agree with you on that one, and we'll touch on that a little bit later on in the stream, Alec. But thank you so much, mate, for the super chat. I really like this third kit. It's a dark shadow. Love it, love it, love it. Love the third kit. Nike have hit it out of the park. Said risk it. There you go. There's loads of love for it. Nice. Yeah, maybe it's one of those that I like it more when I see it in person, because that has happened to me in the past, but I don't really see it on this one, if I'm being honest with you. It's not a bit of me. There's not the phrase, it's just not a bit of me. Right, ladies and gentlemen, transfer talk, because it's starting to heat up now. It's getting to the nitty gritty with regard to Thiago. Will he, won't he? Well, Dietmar Hamann, or Diddy Hamann as we affectionately call him, and Christian Falk certainly got my Twitter feed buzzing today when Christian tweeted, Dietmar Hamann says, I am sure that Thiago will play for Liverpool next season. Hence the title of tonight's stream. Diddy Hamann, obviously got good contact inside German football. He's convinced that Thiago will play for Liverpool next season, i.e. this season coming up. There's one thing that I don't think we've discussed about the whole Thiago situation, by the way, and it's something that I don't associate with Jurgen Klopp, which would make me very surprised. And I heard somebody speaking about this earlier on, and I can't remember if it was from a podcast or if it was from TV or something. But anyway, the crux of where I'm going with this is, if Thiago is sitting there now, which he is, waiting for Liverpool to come and get him, we know that he's told Bayern Munich, whatever he says publicly, we know that behind the scenes he has told the manager and the board of Bayern Munich that he wants to move on and he wants to go and join Liverpool. Now, Thiago may be getting a little bit worried. You heard the comments when he was away on international duty with Spain. He was leaving the door open a little bit, because maybe he's starting to feel a bit nervous. Maybe he's starting to think that the Reds aren't going to actually pull the trigger and get this deal over the line. Certainly, if Gini Wijnaldum signs a new deal, you have to struggle to think where we could fit Thiago into the squad with regard to numbers, not with regards to where he could play, because you'd always find somewhere for somebody like him to play. But that would leave us with, I think, 8 first-choice midfielders, and I don't know. I really don't know, ladies and gentlemen, but I also don't think that Jurgen Klopp's the type of person who will tell Thiago, we want you, we want you, we want you, which is what we're hearing, which is what journalists have been saying, that they've been talking with his agent, they've agreed wages, they've agreed the length of the contract and all that stuff. But what I heard, and I want to attribute this to Christian Falk, but again, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, it was one of the big journalists, him, Fabrizio, one of them, said that Thiago is a very proud man. And if Liverpool don't pull the trigger after basically saying to him that, we're going to come and get you, that he won't come in January, that he won't come next year. If he leaves Bayern Munich, he'll sign a pre-contract with Barcelona and he'll go back there. That's what I read and heard earlier on. I read and see so much stuff, I can't remember half the time exactly who said it and where it's come from. But regards to this one, you have to think about Thiago in this situation as well. He's right now getting a bit of an extended break after the international duty and obviously the Champions League win with Bayern Munich. And he's probably hoping beyond hope that in the next couple of days, it's all sorted. What do you guys think on this one? Because the more we see Genie looking like he's going to sign a new deal, the more it looks like Thiago won't happen. And then, of course, you have Mr. Goldbridge earlier on out on Twitter tweeting out that Thiago's chosen Liverpool, great signing. Now, I know Mark, and I know it was a little bit of a teaser, shall we say, towards, because I messaged him straight away. I said, do you know something I don't about Thiago? But yeah, look, we know that Thiago's first choice is Liverpool. United seem to have given up on him. Barcelona's gone a bit quiet on him, but there is always that attraction back to Barcelona for him if Liverpool don't pull the trigger. And also, if Liverpool don't sell Gini Wijnaldum to Barcelona, Barcelona's still going to need that midfielder. And again, similar type of value, they may look to Thiago. So this one is going to probably be resolved in the coming few days, ladies and gentlemen. So keep an eye on the situation. Let me know what you guys think. Would we all agree, by the way, that if Gini signs a new deal, the Thiago thing is most probably dead? Could you give me a thumbs up if you agree with me on that one in the chat, or a thumbs down if you disagree with me? Because I got to say, I can't see it if Gini signs. I really can't. And I'm not going to be too upset at all if Genie does sign a new contract, by the way, because he's earned that new contract. I've said that time and time again. Thiago must be signed, said Pearl. It's taken too long, said Jer Murta. It does seem to be dragging out a bit. I mean, from my point of view on this one, Liverpool should go out and sign Thiago if they want Thiago. And then we'll sort out the Genie Wijnaldum situation, the midfield situation after. But this is a player for me that you're getting out a bargain. I mean, I don't understand why we haven't pulled the trigger on the deal if we're so interested in him. Right, let's see what everybody thinks anyway. Ben Washbrook's thumbs up, Liz is a thumbs up, Kieran's a thumbs down. Most people, I think most people agreeing that if Gini Wijnaldum does sign a new deal, it probably signals the end of the Thiago links or the Thiago saga. Although I'm sure that the media and stuff will try and drag this one out a little bit longer as well. If we looked at the squad and we realistically looked at what we need, now I mean what we need, not what we all want, because we're all greedy fuckers, let's be honest about it. We all want Liverpool to go out and sign the best. But if we look at the squad right now and ask what we really need, I think most people's honest answer would be a centre back and maybe a wide forward or a centre forward. At least that's what I hope anyway. How about we sell, said Joins Nation? Yes, there will be some sales coming up, mate, no doubt about it. Chris Short said he was never coming. Oh my god, how hard is it to understand? Firstly, Chris, try and treat people with respect, mate, when you're putting comments in, and don't make out like you suddenly have all this information you've known all along and the rest of us are idiots, mate. Treat people with respect and you'll get it back. If you don't treat people with respect, quite frankly, Chris, do one, mate, because nobody wants that type of snarky attitude here. You're being treated with respect, sir, and I expect that respect to be given back to everybody in the chat as well. None of these snidey comments, pal. There's no need for them. What do I think about Ziyech? Klopp had a chance to sign him last year. I'm not... of all the signings, Chelsea have made, I'm not arsed about the Ziyech when I really haven't. He's a tidy footballer, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's at the level that we need for Liverpool. I really don't. But look, he's a Chelsea player, so I don't really have to be too concerned. We need Cantwell. No one sounds interested. So Kieran Shield definitely gone very quiet, mate. With all clubs that I've seen in regards to Cantwell, now maybe there's a club that have been linked to him that I haven't seen, but it's no secret that we had kept track on him. David Maddox spoke about the interest before. I think James Pearce even touched on the interest, but said that it was more one that we were just keeping an eye on. But yeah, I've heard nothing at all. David Shenton said 27 is never going to be a bargain for a 29-year-old to Liverpool. It really is though, mate. I mean, I'll go back and remind you about this one. When Robin van Persie signed for Manchester United from Arsenal, he was 29 years of age, and look at the impact that he had there. Do you know what I mean? Players these days, especially players that look after themselves, are going and playing 35, 36 years of age. So I think 27 million is a bargain for somebody who's won as much and played at a higher level as Thiago has played. So again, I don't understand the negativity around the price tag. I think his price is entirely reasonable, if I'm being honest with you. Chelsea is complete. No, they're not. Chelsea are far from complete. One, their manager hasn't proven anything yet. Two, the players all have to gel together. And three, their defence is still a little bit suspect, if I'm being honest with you. And then they've got the whole goalkeeper situation to resolve as well. What do I think of Grealish, said Captain Clun. Don't want him at Liverpool, mate. Put it that way. The stat about him being the most foul player in the Premier League doesn't really excite me. He's a tidy footballer, but not at the type of money being mentioned for Jack Grealish. I mean, he's not worth more than 35 million, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, even at that, I think I'm being generous and allowing for the whole British tax, if you want to call it that, with regards to buying homegrown players. Davis and King said Liverpool need more creativity and Thiago is the man. We do have other players, mate, that are starting to step up as well. Not that I disagree with you. I'd love Thiago to come to Liverpool. But Naby Keita will show us this season a bit more flair going forward as well. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, if he can stay fit, we know will give us a great option in attack as well. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. He does have something that a lot of our midfielders don't currently have, and I won't disagree with you on that one. The only argument I kind of want to put across is if Gini signs his new deal, I would be very surprised if Thiago came in. Because where do we play him? And Klopp has spoken openly time and time again about not just having players for the sake of it, having players with a plan and how he can use those players. And if we had Thiago in, we'd have what? Thiago, Hendo, Gini, Milner, Fabinho, Curtis Jones, Naby Keita, and Christ, I know I'm probably forgetting James Milner. That's 8 off the top of my head that I can think of in the central midfield position. And you can probably include Takumi Minamino there as an attacking midfielder as well. Marco Grujic is still a Liverpool player as things stand. That's 10 midfielders there that I'm after naming. So where do you play them? You know, you've got 3 slots. Yes, you do need backup, and yes, you do need to rotate. But I think 6 or 7 midfielders is probably the right number to have in your squad. So I can't see us having 8, unless there's a shock, and unless one of those other midfielders we spoke about in the first 7 were to move on, and I don't see it. Milner signed a new deal. Hendo, captain's not going nowhere. Naby only starting to show his form. Full backing from the manager. And Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, I've heard some Reds call on Twitter and other forms of social media to sell Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I've never even heard any thoughts of that from Liverpool. So, yeah, there you go. Connor said, not to use that annoying phrase, but Keita and Minamino will be a bit like new signings. Taki in and Keita hopefully staying fit. Taki settling in. And that's true, but we don't, even I don't, I agree with you, but I still don't like to talk about it, because it isn't as exciting, mate, but you're right, and whatever happens, we're going into this defence of our Premier League title with a damn fine squad, and let's not forget that. I mean, we can get lost in transfers a little bit of the time, and I find myself caught up in this as well, but there's more to talk about, by the way, loads more. Jeremy Doku. We touched on this gentleman yesterday, and there's a few reports coming out of European-based media that believe that Liverpool are working on a £23 million deal for Anderlecht's winger. He's 18 years of age. We touched on him at last night's stream, and everything I've read, even the ones that don't talk about this £23 million bid that's apparently coming in, suggest that if we do get this kid, that we would immediately loan him straight back to Anderlecht for the season ahead. Now, if we're struggling right now to get players in and we're struggling for money, I can't see us going out there and dropping 23 million on somebody and loaning them straight back out. I just don't see it, not at this moment in time. We have monitored this kid since he was even a younger teenager. I think going back a couple of years he was being linked with a move across to Liverpool, but you know, he's having an impressive season at Anderlecht, or had an impressive season. I don't know, what do you guys think on this one? It would really shock me if we went and dropped that much money. And then we've got the new goalkeeper situation as well, which I'll touch on in a second. Again, the Fluminense kid, we spoke about it before, but I will go through it in more detail. Without Thiago and another attacker, we'll struggle to get the league, said Joey. The attacker part, Joey, I absolutely agree with you with me. And would I like Thiago? Yes, as I keep saying. I'm just trying to be realistic about where the hell we play the kid if he came in and Gini was still here and Hendo was still here and Naby was still here, Milner. You know, where do you play him? Where does he get the minutes from? And again, you're having a pretty chunky wage there as well. Whereas Gini Wijnaldum's wage, I would say, would probably be less than half of what Thiago is looking to come in on. At least Gini's current wage. Of course, he'd probably get a pay increase if he signed a new deal. A deserved pay increase, by the way. Thoughts on Minamino's performance in pre-season, said James Bell. His performance against Blackpool was electric. He was brilliant. And it was great to see him starting to show his form. Obviously got himself a goal in the Community Shield as well. And yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Takumi Minamino, mate. And I think it's £7.25 million. Absolute bargain. An absolute bargain. This goalkeeper situation, anyway, I did mention this to you guys a few days ago. Marcelo Pinaluga, I believe, is the gentleman's name. It looks like the club are getting very close to agreeing the signing of the young goalkeeper from Fluminense for a fee believed to be around £2 million. I also spoke about Kamil Gabara going out on loan. Somebody pulled me up on this one. I called him a Hungarian international. He's actually Polish, isn't he? So my apologies on that one, and thank you for correcting me on that, whoever it was the other day. He looks like he's going to be heading out on loan as well, or maybe that loan has already gone through. I haven't checked the latest on it. Kevin Kelleher, I think, is supposed to go out on loan from what I've read. And he needs it, to be fair. He needs to get the opportunity to play minutes. And it's looking like obviously we'll go in with Adriana's back up to Alisson this season. So that's pretty much where we are with the goalkeeper situation. I haven't seen much more on transfers. We spoke about Ben Woodburn yesterday as well. He's going to be going over to Holland for a season-long loan with Sparta Rotterdam. So best of luck to Ben Woodburn and that. Happy birthday, thank you, mate. Thank you to everyone saying happy birthday. I can't go through them all, unfortunately, but yeah, there you go. Dave saying, where's Craig? I'm here, Dave, right here. Hi, hope you can still see me. Right, what have we got? Any news about Daka? No, but I did read something earlier on about Daka. He'd been linked to Spurs, he'd been linked to a couple of other clubs in the Premier League as well. But there are unconfirmed reports, and the reason I say they're unconfirmed reports is because they're linked to his agent, but yet I've yet to see confirmation that these are actually words that the agent said. But the gist of what was put out anyway suggests that Daka is looking to stay at Salzburg until at least January to get some more experience there. Now, until at least January is a little bit weird. I'm sure Salzburg, if they have the player, would want to keep him right through the season. They did lose, of course, Takumi Minamino to us in January last year, but maybe the whole January thing is to allow clubs to get their finances a little bit in better order and maybe go in there and do a deal with Salzburg. But that's the latest that I've read on Daka, and nothing new to Liverpool, really. It's definitely somebody we should be keeping an eye on, and I'm sure somebody we are keeping an eye on. But yeah, no, nothing sexy, nothing new, nothing groundbreaking. Right, what else have we got? Did you see Hendo's lovely letter to Dejan Lovren? Yes, it was lovely. I said this to you guys yesterday. Jordan Henderson sent a lovely letter to Dejan Lovren along with a little mini Premier League trophy with all the players' names engraved on it as well. Class act is our captain, and I expect nothing less from Hendo. Right, Jason McAteer. This is interesting. If you guys are on Twitter, you've probably seen this. But Jason McAteer posted up an image that comes from the BBC asking some of their reporters and pundits for their top 4 Premier League predictions. And this is what Jason McAteer posted. I'll let you know kind of where I'm going with this. Straight on the dressing room wall. That's what he said. If he was Jurgen Klopp, he would pin this straight up on the dressing room wall as motivation. Right, Chris Waddle, for some reason, and I don't know where the hell he got this from, but Chris Waddle seems to think that Manchester United are going to win the Premier League this season, with Manchester City in 2nd, Liverpool in 3rd, and Chelsea in 4th. Seriously? United to win the league? I mean, Chris Waddle as a footballer was unbelievable. I don't know where he's going with the thoughts of Manchester United to win the league this year. Madness. Alan Shearer's gone for Manchester City to win the league. Liverpool 2nd, Chelsea 3rd, Man United 4th. Alex Scott has gone for Manchester City to win the league. Liverpool 2nd, Chelsea 3rd, Man United 4th. Pat Nevin, he's gone for Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and then Manchester United. Michael Brown, he's gone for Man City to win it. To cut this short anyway, Michael Brown, Mika Richards, Chris Sutton, Lindsay Johnson, all gone for Manchester City to win the league, Liverpool to come 2nd, and then there's a variation of Manchester United or Chelsea to come 3rd and 4th. Basically what I'm getting at here, folks, is everyone is fucking writing us off. Everybody is writing off the Reds title defence already, and it's up to Jurgen Klopp and those players, starting from tomorrow, to go out there and prove all of these clowns wrong, as we seem to do season after season with this group of players. It's madness. Every season, they keep making Manchester City favourites for the European Cup. They haven't won it yet, have they? It's madness. How can you not at least give Liverpool a couple of those? Couple of those pundits surely know deep down that Liverpool are going to be there or thereabouts this season. Every single one of them had a Manchester club, I should say, ahead of Liverpool in that title race. Chris Waddle being the only one, of course, who went full on, I don't know what you want to call it, Manchester United winning the league. It's just not going to happen, Chris. With all due respect, sir, somebody who I really admire, that's just not going to happen. Ricky said Chris Waddle clearly been hitting the with Mr. Merson. I can't really say that phrase, mate. It's even for me, that's a little bit too far gone. Bielsa plays a unique style that Klopp or Liverpool haven't played before. Anybody concerned we could drop points out of the gate? I went for a 2-1 win in my prediction yesterday, but I am concerned it's going to be a difficult game. Leeds are going to know their job, and they're a very well drilled team, so I'm not expecting an easy evening tomorrow for Liverpool. Far from it. Let them doubt us. I love that, Ahmed. Well played, sir. Said let them doubt us. And we'll all be singing, and now they're going to believe us, now they're going to believe us, now they're going to believe us. We've already won the league, bitches. We've already won the league. Right, write us off at your peril, said Jer Murta. Absolutely, Jer. How dare they? How dare they? I love being the underdog, said Luke. We shouldn't be the underdogs though, mate. That's the thing. I love the attitude and I love the support of the team, but we shouldn't be the underdogs. Put some respect on our name, for Christ's sake. Sarr agreed personal terms, said Kieran James. Again, Kieran, mate, no good putting that in, buddy, unless you're going to tell us where you've seen this, because we'll just think it's nonsense otherwise. And I'm not having to dig at you, buddy, but, you know, agreeing personal terms seems to be the easy part. It's all about agreeing the fees with the clubs that we seem to be struggling with. We've heard we'd agreed personal terms with Thiago. We heard we'd agreed them with Fekir. We've heard we'd agreed them with other players as well. It's about the clubs agreeing the fee. That's the big one in these situations. And look, the links to Sarr are brilliant. He's the type of player we should be looking at. But yeah, I mean, personal terms being agreed wouldn't surprise me, because I wouldn't imagine he's asking for ridiculous wages anyway. 4-0 to Liverpool. Captain Clun's going with his prediction tomorrow. I mean, I'd be very happy with that one, sir, but I would have to disagree. I don't think it'll be that easy for us. I went for a 2-1 win, as I said. Seamus agrees on the 2-1. Leeds will give us a game. I think Leeds might catch us a little bit cold and get an early one tomorrow. Owen Rundle, well played, sir. He thinks we're going to go unbeaten. I don't agree with you, but I love the optimism. They know Liverpool is bigger than Manchester City and Chelsea, said Naz. We are, mate. There's no doubt about it. Do you know what I mean? WFM. That we can apply that to Liverpool as well in a rather kind way. Look, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, a couple of people are asking us about fantasy football. We're not running a fantasy football competition this season. We just haven't got the time to keep up with it. We've so much stuff going on, so many new shows and bits and pieces that we want to put out. So we won't be doing a fantasy football competition this season. But we do have a similar competition over on the Flick Chat page. You still have time to join, and what we do is Flick Chat automatically assembles 5 questions for you guys to answer. Each game Liverpool play throughout the season, you'll get 5 questions, and if you answer those 5 questions, each one that you get right, you get a point, and that point puts you on our leaderboard, and that leaderboard will be there all season for people to see. And we're going to be giving out prizes as well, maybe monthly prizes, but certainly annual prizes to whoever comes first and second, maybe even third on that leaderboard. So if you haven't joined the Flick Chat app yet, and nearly 400 of you guys have come across and joined it, do look in the description of the stream. There is a link there. Flick Chat is absolutely free. You can download it on your phone via the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. There's a link directly to the Anfield Agenda Flick Chat group in the stream description. Come over, give it a try. Anyone that's used it, telling us it's brilliant. We will be back on Hot Mic tomorrow as well, for people asking. I know we haven't been on it throughout pre-season, but again, it's purely been a time perspective on our side. So if you enjoyed our Hot Mic coverage, you'll look out for us on there tomorrow. We'll be signing up to do that game on there as well. If you don't know what Hot Mic is, it's an app that allows you to sync our commentary up to your TV, so it's in perfect sync with how you're watching the game. Again, links in the description to all that kind of stuff. Where do you rank Trent as the best right back? Well, he's got to be up there, Jake. I mean, and we're talking about somebody who's up there at 21 years of age. 21 years of age. I know he was a little bit unhappy with his FIFA rankings, or FIFA rating, I should say. I think it was particularly with regards to shooting and stuff like that. But I think he said his goal is to try and get an 89 on FIFA. That's his goal for next season. I'm not a computer game player personally, but I do understand that people take these ratings very seriously. I'm sorry, but why hasn't Shaqiri been sold? Asked Luke. It's a good question, mate, and I'm kind of wondering the same. I mean, I was expecting Grujic, Wilson, Shaqiri, maybe even Divock Origi to join Nathaniel Klein, Adam Lallana, Dejan Lovren to the Anfield exit door, and there is still time. Obviously the window's open till October the 5th, but as things stand, it looks very quiet. Shaqiri's spoken before and he seems to suggest that he's going to stay, but look, we know for a fact that his reps have been out there. At least it's been openly spoken about that his reps have been out there speaking to clubs. I know they spoke, or at least it was reported, I should say, that they spoke to a club in Turkey about wages and stuff. Didn't seem to come to an agreement there, so I don't know. Dylan says predicted lineup. Yes, I got to make a bit of an admission, by the way. I did my predicted lineup for the game yesterday, and I have to hold my hands up and say I excluded Trent from the lineup because he hadn't played a minute for us in pre-season, but you guys rightly pointed out to me that, of course, he played minutes for England. Now, as I've said many times, I don't keep an eye on international football. It isn't really my cup of tea. I've never been able to get into it that much. I watch the World Cups and stuff, but hands up time, I did forget that he got those minutes, so I would like to publicly alter my predicted lineup for tomorrow to include Trent Alexander-Arnold. So, what I'm going to go for is Alisson, Trent on the right hand side, Robbo on the left, Van Dijk and Gomez in the centre-back pairing. My midfield for tomorrow, I would have Fabinho. I think I went with James Milner, and then I went with Takumi Minamino. Now, if Gini Wijnaldum's head is straight, Gini Wijnaldum could get in there, but I'm going with what I went with. So Fabinho, James Milner and Takumi Minamino in an attacking midfield position. I'm probably being a bit optimistic here. And then the front three, you don't need me to say. The front three are the front three. They don't change when they're fit. So yeah, that's what I've gone with. But I know, I'd love to know your guys' thoughts on it. I know it's difficult leaving out Naby Keita, by the way. I really struggled with the Takumi Minamino Naby Keita coin toss. I think Milner will start, by the way, because one, knows the league inside out. Two, didn't go away in internationals, had more time at Melwood to work with Jurgen Klopp and the coaches with regards to tactics and stuff like that. So I'm expecting Jimmy Milner to start, Fabinho in there, and then it's just a matter of who's the third one. Will it be Takumi, will it be Gini, or will it be Naby Keita, or will we get a surprise? I mean, imagine we came out and we seen Curtis Jones' name there as an example. Right, Michael, I think you're a little bit behind the times, mate, with regards to the old Nelson Mandela stuff, so I'm just going to hide you for your own good, buddy, if that's alright. What's the Thiago news? I've gone through it, mate. I'll go through it again towards the end of the stream, but bear with me. I just want to keep things relevant for those that are watching live, because if I keep going back over it, it becomes a little bit boring. But look, keep your comments coming, by the way. We've about 15 minutes left on tonight's stream. And again, just a reminder that we'll be back tomorrow at 5 o'clock for the watch-along of the game against Leeds United. Connor's going to join me here as well, so I'll have a co-commentator for the game. We'll be on Flick Chat for the post-match show as well with regards to reaction. We'll be on Hot Mic for the stream, and of course we'll be on YouTube as well, so make sure you've got those notifications turned on, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we're very close to 45k, ladies and gentlemen. If there's 100 of you legends watching that haven't hit the subscribe button, with it being my birthday and all, do you know what I mean? Wouldn't it be nice to get to 45k? So hit that subscribe button, folks. Maybe you're somebody who watches and thinks, nah, I don't know about this lad. It's my birthday, come on. I'll be 39.1 next year, 39.2 the year after. But if you're enjoying the stream, please do hit that subscribe button, and let's see if we can get to 45k in the last, 20 minutes or so of tonight's stream. Get Sancho, said Bohemian. The United stand and Mark and the lads are really going balls out on the whole Sancho thing. I even seen a post from them earlier on putting up United's 3 shirts this season, saying which one would you like, and each one of them had Sancho 7 on the back of it. So Mark and the lads are very confident that they're going to get that deal wrapped up for Jadon Sancho. I genuinely don't know what the situation is there. It looks like there was a breakthrough with regards to an agreement in wages with Manchester United and agents' fees, but the big stumbling block has to be the deal between Dortmund and any buying club. Dortmund want £108 million. Dortmund also said that August 10th was the deadline. Michael Zorc came out and said that, it's past, we move on, that he's going to stay at the club. But, a lot of Manchester United fans very confident that he's going to go there. What I will say is, I will be absolutely amazed if he doesn't go to United this summer and we're not mentioned in the conversation to try and bring him in here next year. A lot of European-based journalists like Jan Agafjortov and stuff have been saying about our interest in Jadon Sancho, but we knew this summer wasn't going to be the summer for us to go out there and drop that much money on a player. Whether you agree with his valuation or not, even if it was dropped down a little bit, even if we moved to the 75-80 million mark, still not for us this summer, I'm afraid. Elijah John 5's going 3-0 to Liverpool tomorrow. What's happened to Shaqiri? Just a lot of injuries, Ronak, mate. Just a lot of injuries have kind of made a very stop-start during his time at Liverpool. Somebody that can have an impact. I mean, I'm not his biggest fan, I have to say. I've said this many times. I've nothing against the guy, and I do understand why people like him, and he can have an impact on games, but he just can't seem to stay fit long enough. That's my only gripe with it. I just don't see how he helps the squad moving forward. Now, if we could move Shaqiri on, I don't know if Jurgen Klopp and the lads would maybe think that that's a midfield place. Can we cheat a little bit and kind of call that a midfield place that we could free up and maybe go and get Thiago? And thank you, Ronak, by the way, and thank you, Kate, as well. What have we got? Puskas is a god, predicting 1-0 or 2-1 to Liverpool. I think it's going to take us a while to get really high scoring games next season. Like last year, we had 7 games in a row scoring 1 or 2 goals. What I am happy about, by the way, is that the Premier League clubs have agreed that there will only be 3 substitutions allowed again. I totally understood why they went with the 5 substitutions and 9 on the bench after the enforced break. Players mightn't have been fully fit and all that. I get it. But I am happy that it's gone back to 3 substitutes and 7 on the bench. That makes a lot more sense to me. I'd like to know what you guys think about it as well. Maybe let me know in the comment section or, of course, in the live chat. Tommy Walker said, thank you very much, mate. He said, happy birthday, have a pint on me. I'll tell you what, Tommy, I might never pint because I'm not a drinker, but I'll definitely get the Diet Cokes in, buddy, and thank you so much. You're very generous. Can we stop with the one football notifications, by the way? You guys got me last night, people talking about a one football story that was hours old and wasn't really breaking news, and we all got a little bit excited on the stream, me included, of course, but I'm not believing that anymore in live chat unless it's from one of our mods or Connor Crosby. Even though he's a United fan, I love Goldbridge, said Kieran James. He's a lovely lad. Mark is a lovely lad, and he knows what he's talking about in regards to football, and he's good fun to watch and good fun to chat to as well. It was nice catching up with Mark, by the way, earlier on in the week. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, please do go and check it out. We had Mark on Monday for a little preview ahead of the new season, and it's always nice to catch up with Mr. Goldbridge. Liverpool 8 Leeds 2, said Mo Dilbar. 3-1, said Jan Hanna. Too much time wasting, said Elijah John 5. It just made it a little bit stop-start as well. And you know what? You know I like an out bet as well. And the 5 substitutions, particularly when you're betting on someone to score, makes it a lot less likely that that player is going to see out the game. Because usually when a coach makes substitutes, it's usually midfield and attacking players that they're looking to. So, yeah, it was a bit more tricky for us who like an out bet as well when the 5 substitutions were there. It was hard because a lot of the times you're seeing 4 or 5 people off by 70-75 minutes. Daka is a better option and fit for Liverpool compared to Sarr, in my opinion, said Andre Fenning. I've got to be honest, I wouldn't mind either, Andre. I probably seen more of Sarr than I have of Daka, but I'm trying to play catch up on both, if I'm being honest with you. Wasn't somebody who watched a lot of Watford. Now, obviously, we've seen Sarr take Liverpool apart this season, score a couple and set one up, I think, for Troy Deeney, if my memory's right. And we've seen Daka against us as well, look very impressive. Got himself a couple of goals. The second one, the most impressive for me. I really liked his movement. And to get ahead of Virgil van Dijk like you did, you know, you've got to be switched on. So, both good players. Sarr probably a little bit further along in his suitability, if you want to put it that way, because obviously he has experience in the Premier League. There is a connection obviously with Sarr as well, with Sadio Mane, both Senegalese internationals, very good friends as well. So yeah, look, I think that there's genuine interest in Sarr, and this one will be worth keeping an eye on, because I think everyone agrees an attacking player and a centre back would be, you know, the most sensible addition to the team. Whether it's not as exciting perhaps as Thiago, it's probably the 2 areas that we need to address the most, if we're being honest with ourselves. Why would we need Daka if Brewster stays? It's a very, very good question, because we need the next generation, I suppose, mate, is where I'd be looking at. I mean, think 2 or 3 years down the line, even if you had Rhian Brewster there who was on form, if you had Harvey Elliott there who was on form, if you had brought in Daka or somebody like that, you're now seeing the next generation, Jurgen Klopp's second team progressing. So that's probably why. That's what I would suggest. Now, the Rhian Brewster one, this I can't see us selling him. The more I've looked into this, the more I've read, I think there's a possibility he goes on loan. I think there's a very strong possibility he goes on loan, and I think if I was to put a bet on, if I was to guess on this, I think he'll end up on loan at Sheffield United. Chris Wilder spoke, I think it was yesterday, talking about a player being very close, a forward being very close to coming in, and it most likely being a loan deal. So I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Rhian Brewster maybe go on loan. But if we don't bring in another forward, I would like to see Rhian Brewster stay. I understand him going out to get minutes, but I can see a time from to get minutes at Liverpool if we keep the forward line that we have. I really can. Even if it is just the domestic cup games, maybe give him a few run-outs in some Champions League group games, bring him on later on in games that we're winning quite handily in the Premier League. I can see him getting some minutes. But if we brought in Sarr or a Daka, then you've got to say, you've got the front 3, you've got Takumi Minamino, you've got Origi there still at the minute, you've obviously got Brewster there, and then, you know, more youngsters coming through as well that could potentially push. I don't see much from Harvey Elliott this season. I think another season of coaching behind the scenes, maybe some domestic cup games. I'll be very surprised if we loaned him out yet. I think he still needs more development. He's at a tricky position right now at 17 years of age. He's kind of just fallen between being maybe a little bit too good for the under 18s, 23s, but probably not quite there yet with regards to the first team squad on a regular basis. He will be though, no doubt about that. Tommy, thank you, said, have another Coke on me, great channel from the heart. The love that you guys have shown us from day one, and particularly over the past couple of months, I cannot thank you enough. To build this community that we're putting together now is amazing. I appreciate the shit out of each one of you guys, and the love and support that you've given Connor and myself. It means the world to us, so thank you again. But let's see if we can get that to 45k. I really do want to try and get it to 45k on the stream, because I'm a petulant little child and it's my birthday and I want something to celebrate, and I want to jump up and down like a petulant little child. That's what my wife keeps calling me, by the way, and you know what? She's probably right, because if us men are being honest, we don't ever really grow up. Do you know what I mean? We're still inside little children. Chris Legit, I love saying that name, by the way, but of course then I want to say too legit to quit. Sorry Chris, but you know what I mean, it just rolls off the tongue. Leeds are decent, but I think they'll be rattled tomorrow. They're just entering the league and playing the champions at Anfield. Chris is going for a 2 or 3-0 victory. I'd be very happy with that. I would take your 2-0 victory over my 2-1, mate, because I'd love the Reds to start off with a clean sheet, give Alisson and that back four a nice little start off to the season. So well in, Chris. I do like where you're coming from. English Football HD said, everybody new, subscribe. Yes, please do. It is lovely to have you guys with us. Maybe you're with us for the first time, I don't know. If you are, let us know in the chat. We'll give you a shout out, we'll say hi. And again, if you're new to Flick Chat, send me a DM and I promise you I'll give you a DM back. Anybody who has messaged me on the Flick Chat app, you've all gotten a response from me, just like I promised, because I do genuinely spend a lot of time trying to answer and go through as many of these things as I can. If I don't answer your question on here, maybe I'll get a chance and I'll answer it on Flick Chat later on. Base face in space. That's a mouthful, buddy. Welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, mate. We're very welcome to the channel. Great to have you as a member. If you want to become a member, like Base Face in Space, I had to say it slowly that time. All you have to do is click on the blue join button. If you don't see that, again, there's a link in the description. Membership of Anfield Agenda FC, which is what we call the members, costs $4.99 a month, and for that you get the Anfield Agenda badge beside your name. You get use of all the custom emojis that Mr. Connor Crosby designed for the channel. For me, most importantly, you get access to the Anfield Agenda Discord group, which is where we share the innermost secrets of the channel. Give you guys a heads up about what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be talking about. Oh, and I want to give a little shout out to Paul Tompkins as well, by the way. Paul Tompkins sent me a signed copy of his new book, Perched, which I'm going to read very, very shortly. And I'm very, very, very happy to announce that we are going to have the one and only Mr. Paul Tompkins on Anfield Agenda for an interview about his new book, about his time supporting the Reds. If you don't know who Paul Tompkins is, you're a very lucky person to be introduced, because this man is, in my opinion, the foremost genius when it comes to all things LFC. He runs the Tompkins Times, a very, very popular subscription-based site for all things Liverpool. Fantastic articles. I can't sing this guy's praises enough. I was fortunate enough to interview him for a podcast, must be 3 or 4 years ago, and he gave up so much of his time. It was about 3 hours that I spoke to Paul, and I tell you what, I could have spoke to him for another 3, 4, 5 hours. I told you guys before that we had a big interview lined up. This is the one person I want to interview on this channel more than anybody else. I'm so excited and so humbled that Paul has agreed to come on for a chat, because he does not do many of them. So thank you to Paul Tompkins. I'm very much looking forward to checking out his book. If you haven't had a read of any of his stuff, please do check it out as well. Mentality Monsters is one that Paul wrote last year, I believe. I was reading that one when I was on holidays. He sent me a signed copy of that one as well, so I'm building up a nice little collection. But I tell you what, I am so excited to interview Paul Tompkins. He is a legend. So much so that I'll tell you a little part of a story that he told me when he was on the podcast. When John W. Henry first came into Liverpool Football Club, he was looking for somebody to help him to, get up to speed on Liverpool, to fill him in on what it's like to be a Liverpool fan, to fill him in on all things Liverpool. And who did he approach? You know who he approached, Mr. Paul Tompkins, because he is he's it as far as Liverpool stuff goes, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm absolutely delighted to have him on. I don't know when it's going to be because I do have to read the book first and make my notes and all. But wow, what an interview to get for the channel. And thank you, Paul, for agreeing with it as well. For agreeing to it, I should say, because he doesn't do many interviews. Right, we should keep Brewster and loan him, said Jake. I agree with you, no doubt about it. I'm glad to see a lot of people do know who Paul Tompkins is in the chat, by the way, and are just as excited about it as I am. This is a get, trust me, this is a get for us. We have James Pearce coming on as well. I've just got to pin down a time with James Pearce. He's probably going to be the middle to end of next week, but James Pearce is going to be coming on for a chat as well. Jim Boardman, I'm trying to pin Jim Boardman down. And next month, I know it's a bit far away, but he's going to be away on holidays for 2 weeks. I'm very happy to say as well that we're going to have Miguel Delaney of The Independent on next month for a chat. We've been kind of trying to pin this down for a while now. I met Miguel at the launch of La Liga TV in London in January, and we actually both grew up fairly close to each other as well and played in the same league together when we were younger. So we got chatting with Miguel, and he's kind enough to agree to come on for a chat as well. So I'm looking forward to having a chat with him. Again, Miguel Delaney, I think, is one of the premier writers for The Independent newspaper. I think he's the chief football writer for The Independent newspaper. Tommy Walker, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, buddy. Lovely to have you with us. You've been very generous tonight, Tommy. Thank you so much. Mo said I might buy the third Nike kit. Yeah, what do we think? What do we think about it, ladies and gentlemen? You know, they are quite sexy. They are quite nice. But not me. Not for me. Nah, not for me. I don't think I can pull it off. Maybe that's it. Maybe inside I'm thinking there's no way you pull that off, fat boy. No way. Is it just me that thinks the white here is a bit unnecessary? I don't know about that. That makes me feel I don't know. I'm not sure about it. I probably should have brought Thiago up there for a while as well, by the way. Sorry, look, Thiago's there waiting to come in. I'll leave Thiago up for a few minutes just to get everybody a little bit excited, particularly those who were coming in a bit late and are going to go, what's going on here? Liverpool, you never walk alone, said, can you stream for another 20 minutes? It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Yeah, of course, mate, but it's only if people want me to. Again, let me know. If you want me to piss off, I can head off. If you want me to stay on for a few more minutes and answer more questions and talk, again, let me know in the chat. Thumbs up to stay on, thumbs down to go away, you bald twat. Right, we continue to move on. Also, shout out to our social media accounts. Anfield Agenda's Instagram has now gone past 20,000 followers, so thank you to everyone that followed us on there. If you want to follow us on Instagram or on Twitter, it's just at Anfield Agenda. You can give Connor Crosby a follow on Twitter at Mr. Crosby, MisterCrosbie. And if you want to give me a follow, it's just at Craig Holden. There's a U in my surname, by the way, so it's Houlden. I know that catches a lot of people out. New Balance nailed our kit and heritage. Jason, I absolutely agree with you. I thought New Balance were fantastic. I love the trainers that they brought out. I like most of the shirts, particularly the home shirts that they brought out. I love the pepper red colour that they brought back as well. And the blackout shirts. They were probably one of my favourite things of all type of Liverpool merchandise over the past few years. Love the blackout shirts. What have we got? Thumbs up, said people as well. Nice one. Can I show you guys a little something, by the way? My wife, a lot of people ask me what my wife and that got me for my birthday. I have to say, motherfuckers spoiled me this year. They spoiled me rotten. So they got me the new Barcelona away shirt, which I'm sure you've all seen, which is absolutely amazing. But my wife ordered me this set, and I'm going to show it to you guys now. Now, this isn't my image. This is just the set. It's not my particular set, but this is the set she ordered me. What do we think? She ordered me that set of medals there, which is, of course, the Champions League medal, the Super Cup medal, the World Club Cup medal, and the Premier League medal, all in that lovely little display case. And she got me a signed Kenny Dalglish poster as well. Thank you to my wife and kids, by the way. Spoiled me rotten this year, and I absolutely don't deserve it, but thank you very much to my darling wife. I missed to talk about Thiago, said Grime Warrior. I'll cover it again, mate, don't worry. Right, so we're going to stay on for a few more minutes because you guys want me to stay on. And you know me, I'll talk forever. Happy to be on here chatting with you guys. We're so close to 45k, by the way, so please do keep hitting that subscribe button. Either that or I'll just stay on here till we hit 45k, which could be tomorrow for the match. You know what I mean? I could be on here for 24 hours. Can I stay for 20 minutes? Yes, Grime Warrior, happy to. Let's keep going. We'll keep going. Connor Crosby be doing his nut now. He'll be telling me the stream is too long, telling me to keep it below an hour. Saws Connor, we're going to have to keep going tonight, pal. What have we got? That's awesome, Craig. Lovely, nice one. Yes, and if anybody wants to go and have a look for them, it comes from a company called AAA Memorabilia. Now, I know they're sold out of them at the minute, but a little inside secret, there's another 20 of the sets getting ready to go. So maybe give the lads a look up. You can catch them on Instagram, or you can catch their website as well. AAA Memorabilia.com, I think it is. Or maybe it's .co.uk. But either one, you'll find them if you search them. Craig, the top. This one, yeah, I'm not going to lie, I love it. It's my first ever Liverpool shirt. Not this particular one, because there's no way me now fits in an 8-year-old's Craig shirt. But yeah, this is, shall we say, a replica of my first ever Liverpool shirt. Naeem, it's your birthday. Yes, it is, mate. Thank you. I'm 39. And next year, as I said earlier on, I won't be 40. I'll be 39.1, 39.2. Because I'm just going to update from this point. I'm not going to get older. I'm just going to update my software. Score prediction, said Neil Bradley. He's gone for a 3-2 one. Similar to me, Neil's. I've gone for a 2-1, mate, for the Reds. So, yeah, we're not a million miles apart. Let me go back and talk about the Thiago situation, by the way, because I know a lot of people are coming in late, and there have been a few people in the chat asking, and I did promise I'd go back over it. I'm just trying to get my notes up here so I have everything ready to go. 1 second. Right, so it all started off today. My Twitter timeline suddenly started getting really busy. Loads of talk about Thiago, loads of stuff, and I'm wondering what the hell it's about. So I went and had a little look, and Christian Falk tweeted something. I think the comments came from Didi Hamann when he was speaking on Sky Germany, if I'm correct. And Christian Falk tweeted, Dietmar Hamann says, I am sure that Liverpool will, or excuse me, I've ruined that one. Dietmar Hamann says, I am sure that Thiago will play for Liverpool next season. You know, Dietmar Hamann has very good contacts inside Germany, and I wonder if Didi knows something that the rest of us don't know. But what I went on to talk about then was, what will happen to Thiago if Klopp doesn't pull the trigger on this deal? Because he's kind of said his goodbyes, and I know publicly after the Spanish international games he's come out and kind of sat on the fence a little bit, but behind the scenes he's told Flick, he has told the Bayern Munich board that he wants a new challenge. He turned down a contract renewal. Bayern Munich came up and offered him exactly what he had asked for, but I think at that point his head had been turned and he was looking very much towards Jurgen Klopp and Anfield. So what I'm wondering is, how will it feel if Thiago doesn't get his move? He kind of, you know, made his bed with regards to Bayern Munich. And what I've heard, and again, I think this was either Christian Falk or Fabrizio Romano, it was somebody either speaking on a pod or doing a Q&A session. And they said, think about the situation if he doesn't. He's a very proud man, and if Liverpool don't get that deal over the line this summer after him putting himself out there, that we can pretty much forget about signing him on a pre-contract agreement in January, because his pride will be dented and he'll be very annoyed, and he will probably end up signing a pre-contract deal with Barcelona and going back there when his deal expires. So yeah, I think the next few days will be vital in this whole situation, and I'm struggling to see any way that Gini Wijnaldum signs a new deal and we go out and get Thiago. I'd be pleasantly surprised. I'd be over the moon actually, but if I'm being honest, I can't see how both things happen. Thiago could come in January. I just kind of touched on it there, mate. He won't, from what I've read, and you can understand it, by the way, because if you've kind of made your bed with your club and you've had your head turned and you're getting positive vibes from Liverpool, it's gone as far as your agent agreeing your wages and the agent's fees and all that kind of stuff, and you're then finishing your season, you say your goodbyes to your teammates and stuff at the Champions League celebration party, brought your family in and all that stuff, you're expecting your move. Now, if we don't sell Gini Wijnaldum to Barcelona, Barcelona are still going to need themselves a midfielder, and maybe Ronald Koeman and the Barcelona board turn and have a little look at Thiago. You can't rule it out. It makes sense. What have we got? When will it start? I don't know what it is, mate. So, sorry, I don't know what it is. Happy birthday. Thank you to everyone saying happy birthday to me. I really appreciate it. I was going to ask you guys for something, actually. I can't remember. No, can't remember what it was. It must have been a live. I can't remember. Happy birthday, Craig. By the way, I think you look like Julian Dix. You're not the first person to say that, Thomas. I've had Julian Dix. I've had Dara O'Brien. I've had Humpty Dumpty. I've had some comedian whose name I can never remember. Alexi Sales or something like that. Maybe I think his name is. But either way, they're all far more successful than I'll ever be. But thank you. Have faith, we'll get Thiago very soon, said Grime Warrior. Are we feeling confident on the Thiago thing, folks? Because as things go along, I'm starting to feel less confident, I have to say. Haven't seen Craig rage for a long time. Be prepared, man. Premier League's back tomorrow. Craig rage will be here in full effect for the watch-along. I've tried to tone it down a bit. I've tried to be a bit more loving and a bit more open and friendly in the chat, because as you get older, I suppose you chill out a little bit, but it'll be back for the game tomorrow. Don't worry. Anyone who tunes in for the game tomorrow, you know, make sure you've got no kids with you, because there's going to be a fair amount of swearing and stuff with the referees, as there always is. Why can Liverpool never get big deals over the line? That's not really true, Benjamin. Virgil van Dijk, 75 million quid. Alisson Becker, world record fee at the time for a goalkeeper. Naby Keita, 50 odd million quid, a little bit more I think. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, the guts of 40 million quid. We have gone out there and spent money, mate, big deals, and we have gotten them over the line. I wouldn't regard this as a big deal, by the way. We're talking about 30 odd million euro here, so regards to financial outlay, it wouldn't be one of our biggest, you know what I mean? Particularly in this scenario what we're in now, where we should have more money than we do have, but we all know why we don't have so much money at the moment. Craig, are you doing Hot Mic with the game tomorrow? Yes, we are, Kate. We will be back on Hot Mic tomorrow as well, so if you do like the Hot Mic app, you will see us on there for the game. I'll sign up to that later on, actually. Right, Alexi Sale was the landlord in the young ones. There you go. That must have been him then. What's the fantasy league code? We don't have a fantasy league, mate. We're not doing one this year, so yeah, we haven't got the time. We haven't got the time to keep up with it. We haven't got the time to interact with it, so we've had to say no. But we have a prediction league on the Flick Chat app, which is far more fun, because each week for each Liverpool game, you guys get asked 5 questions, and you get a chance to predict the 5 answers, and the more you get right, you get 1 point for each. And we've got a live leaderboard that'll be up there throughout the season as well, so you know, get onto that Flick Chat app. Congratulations, by the way. There has been somebody who got 8 out of 8. It was a friend from Australia whose name escapes me right now, and I want to say congratulations to him, because he was the first person to get 8 out of 8 in the How Well Do You Know Craig quiz, which is on the Flick Chat app as well. There's 8 questions there about my life, my likes, my dislikes, and only one person has gotten it right, and I'm trying to remember who the hell it was, because I want to say congratulations. What's Harry's second name? Where's Harry? Harry? Is it Harry? No, maybe it's not Harry. Who's our friend from Australia that always gets the that got it right? Frank. It's Frank. Frank was the one who got 8 out of 8. Congratulations, Frank. No FPL code. John Hamilton got 8 out of 8 as well. Good man, John. Now, to give you context on this, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this was not an easy quiz. My wife didn't get 8 out of 8. The woman that I've spent 20 years with, and Connor Crosby didn't get 8 out of 8 either. So it wasn't the easiest quiz. Any news on a centre-back? Jan, absolutely nothing, pal. Nothing. No more links to the likes of Mondi, nothing to Diego Carlos, nothing to the one that we'd all like to see, which is Upamecano. Nothing there either. Yeah, it's gone fairly quiet, I should say. We did see in pre-season, obviously, Jurgen Klopp spending some extra time talking with Billy Cometio, but at 17, you'd have to say he's probably not ready to come in if needed be and play a prolonged period of games at centre-back, even with Virgil van Dijk standing beside him. Dude, I just hate that everyone sees Liverpool really weak. So do I. This is the same squad, mate, that won the Premier League and won it at a canter last season. And if anything else, we probably have, like Connor said earlier on, it's a bit cheesy to say they'll be like 2 new signings, but with Takumi Minamino stepping up and showing the form that he is, and Naby Keita starting to really show what he can do, it's probably better going into this season than we were going into last season. But there's no denying we can still improve, and there's no denying we should be looking to improve before the window closes. But yeah, don't write us off. That's what I'm saying. Do not write this group of players off. What's your top 6 prediction in reverse order? The ones I'm going to struggle with here are 5th and 6th, by the way. But let's go Arsenal 6th, Spurs 5th, Chelsea 4th, United 3rd, Man City 2nd, the Reds to top it. There, that's my guess. Right, ladies and gentlemen, again, keep hitting that subscribe button. We're getting tantalisingly close to 45k on here. I'd love to do it on the live stream on my birthday. 99 points and pundits are writing us off. They can write us off at their peril, mate. Do you know what I mean? They can write us off at their peril. City will be worse, said Salim. How are you guys feeling about it? You confident going into the new Premier League campaign? I mean, it's been a lot of doom and gloom, but it's only really been in regards to transfers. This is still a very capable squad, and a squad that has, let's look back on a brief history under Klopp. Came in, lost the Europa League final, got to a Champions League final, lost that. How do we respond? We responded by putting up 97 points in the Premier League and winning the Champions League. Going to the next season then, we came so close to winning the league, 1 point short. What did we do? We went out there and won the league. That's what this club does. It answers its critics under Jurgen Klopp. It comes back bouncing. You can get the name mentality monsters for this group for nothing. So I've no doubt that what Jason McAteer said will probably be true. Jurgen Klopp probably will be putting that up, or something similar like that up. All those people writing Liverpool off, thinking that Manchester City are going to go and win the title. Let them write us off. It's up to us to go out there and show that we are still the club to beat, that we are the Premier League champions, that we are the ones that has that gold badge on our sleeves, and we are the ones that are champions of the world. It's up to us to go out there and remind teams of that. No way Tottenham 5th, said London Boy. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's always hard to predict, but I think they'll be there or thereabouts. Wolves again, they'll be pushing for the top 6. I'm not expecting Leicester as well. You have to look at Leicester, although they have lost Chilwell and that. They'll go out there and dip their toes in the market as well, but I don't think Spurs are going to be as bad as they were last year anyway. I think it's funny people signing Ake and Torres makes them favourites when they let Sane and Silva go. Yes, and before that, mate, they lost Vincent Kompany as well, which is really important to point out. Their leader in the dressing room. I was almost doing a little jig of happiness when Leroy Sane left Manchester City. I'm not going to lie about it. That's a big loss. That is a big, big loss. And he is a frightening prospect to come off the bench when you had a tired defence. So I'm pretty happy. What else we got? Yeah, I seen that last year when Gary Neville said that United would win the league before us. We knew that wasn't going to happen. I see Gary Neville's already on a wind-up, by the way, saying they're kicking off the league tomorrow at the home of the former Premier League champions. We are the Premier League champions right now, Mr. Neville. What's your next midfield if we sign Thiago? Again, Jake, it depends on who we're playing. I mean, I don't just say this is our midfield trio and that's it. It depends who we're playing. If I was to pick who I'd like us to set out with at home against Leeds, if Thiago was in an ideal world, probably go Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago. That's probably the three I'd go with. Riskett said everybody's sleeping on Leicester. I think it's probably because of the way they fell off at the end of last season. I mean, that enforced break probably hit Leicester City and Sheffield United worse than anybody else, because both of their form just wasn't as good as it was before the break. No Liverpool player can pass the ball like Thiago. He is a special talent. There's no denying that, Mo. He's a special talent. I don't know what else to say, man. I can't disagree with you. But we do have a very good midfield. It's probably the one area of our field that everybody, opposition-wise, seems to overlook. I mean, they talk about our defence, they talk about our full-backs, they talk about our keeper, they talk about the front three, but a lot of the time, they don't give respect enough to our midfield, in my opinion, because without that midfield doing what it does, the rest of the team doesn't get to do what it does. I think we'll be 10 points clear this season, said Liverpool, you never walk alone. What have we got? Believernomics TV said, Craig, I'm new to your show. I think it's outstanding. You're a natural. Thank you, sir. And lovely to have you with us. And I hope you hit the subscribe button, buddy, if you are new. But again, it always is lovely to know when new people are there. Thiago or Genie? Is it an upgrade? Said Gaming Tube. I mean, I can give you my opinion, but I'd love to know yours. Do I think it's an upgrade? In some areas, yes. I don't know if my loyalty to Gini Wijnaldum might skewer my vision of this a little bit. If neither of them had ever played for Liverpool and I was asked to pick between Thiago and Gini Wijnaldum, I've got to be honest, I'd pick Thiago. But Gini Wijnaldum has been there, done that for Liverpool, has been Mr. Consistency, has played only less minutes than Bobby Firmino. He's played more minutes than every other Liverpool player since 16-17 other than Bobby Firmino. That tells you that what you get from Gini Wijnaldum. I think Keita can play the Thiago role, said Jan. Definitely. I mean, people underestimate quite how good Naby Keita is in the final third. He's got tricky little feet, does Naby, and he's not afraid to have a shot and he knows where the goal is. Too many midfielders, we need to back up to the front three, said Joel Robinson. Joel, I am not disagreeing with you, pal. That is, I've been banging on about this all season. I want another wide forward. Now, I know some people are talking about a centre forward, but for me, the likes of a Sarr, a Jadon Sancho, obviously he's not coming in. Somebody like that is what we need. I like an attacking, pacey wide forward. And with the system that we play, we know that any of our guys can play through the middle. Bobby can play through the middle. Taki can play through the middle. Hell, even Mo or Sadio can play through the middle if needs be. And then, of course, we have Origi, Brewster, and the likes. I'm still a little bit surprised we haven't seen more business with regards to outgoings from the club in this window. What do you think of Oxlade-Chamberlain, said Jack O'Connor. I love Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, but I can understand the frustration of some Liverpool fans with regards to his injuries, but the dude isn't setting out to get injured, and he does. When he's picked up those injuries, unfortunately they've tended to be long-term serious injuries. But I love Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and I think this is going to be an important season for him at Liverpool, where he's going to have to hopefully have a run injury-free and really show that he can make an impact. Thiago's the player we need. We lacked a player on the ball like that, said NK. It's because our midfield isn't flashy, it's industrious, said Dave. I agree. Good shout that, Dave. I think I don't want to just call them a workhorse, and I think that's a little bit disrespectful, but they certainly do cover a lot of ground. That's one thing I'll say about our midfielders under Jurgen Klopp, and that's kind of the way Jurgen Klopp likes his midfielders to be. Jason Miller said, so glad I found this channel, LFC. Mate, that is music to my ears, pal. Thank you. That is the hardest part about this, by the way. Running any of these kind of, whether you've a podcast, whether you've got a Twitter account, whether you've got a YouTube channel, it's just getting the world to know that you exist. So if I can ask you all a little birthday favour, if you're out and you're chatting with your mates, you're on Twitter, you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, let them know about us. Let them know about our channel. Let them know they'd be welcomed in with open arms. We'd love to see them here. We'd love to interact with more Reds from around the world. And again, the Watchalongs. We are the most popular LFC Watchalong in the world. So, yeah, bring it tomorrow. I'm looking forward to the Premier League being back. Don't worry about Oxlade-Chamberlain. He's going to do it this season, make or break, said Tariq. Is Thiago confirmed? No, he isn't, mate. And I'm not falling for any Thiago being confirmed stuff on tonight's stream, because you kind of got us last night, somebody. We got a bit excited for a little while. Right. Prometheus, how are you, buddy? Lovely to see you back in. Any news on Patson, Daka or Jeremy Doku? Patson, Daka, not really. I can give you a sort of a story on Daka. There has been an article written that credits his agent with saying that Daka is happy and will stay at Salzburg until at least January. Now, I've not seen any other big media outlets cover that, and I've not seen the agent confirm it. But with regards to Jeremy Doku, yes, there have been some articles about him and some bits and pieces. So, as I said before, there are a few reports coming out of Europe that European-based media, I should say, that Liverpool are working on a £23 million deal for Anderlecht's 18-year-old winger Jeremy Doku, with the plan to loan him straight back to Anderlecht. That's where I lose it for me on this one. That's where I don't think it's true. No doubt we're interested in the player, 100%. We've been tracking him for years, but the thoughts of dropping that much money in this window when we're struggling to get in the players we need, it just doesn't sit right, and I can't see it happening. No, I just can't see it happening. I can understand the links, but if we can't get Thiago, or we can't go out there and get Sarr, or we can't go out there and get Patson, Daka, for a position that we need backup in, I can't see us dropping 23 mil on an 18-year-old and then loaning him back for the season. In any other year, I would absolutely think that is possible. That sounds like a Michael Edwards type of deal. We've seen it with Naby Keita before as well. It didn't really work out too well, further down the line. I think before Michael Edwards was at the club, maybe, when we did it for Divock Origi. Didn't work out too well. He had a bit of a stinker on that season at Wolfsburg before he came to the Reds. What have we got? Collaboration with the Redmen TV, the biggest Liverpool fan channel. I've reached out twice to the guys at Redmen TV, and got a response the other day from Ross, one of the guys that runs the social media. Lovely fella, Ross. Got on with him really well. And he said he'd pass word along, but I've yet to hear anything back. So it ain't from my end, put it that way. I'm happy to have a chat with anybody. You guys know that. Thoughts on the FIFA ratings? I'm not a FIFA player, buddy, so I'll have to pass that one over to the chat. What have we got? What about Felix from Portugal? Good young lad. Which Felix is this, mate? Again, got over my head. Obviously, it's not Joe Felix. He's at Atleti. Will Trent start tomorrow? Yeah, Ron, I had to hold my hands up on this one, mate. When we did the predicted 11s, I had Neco Williams in there because I had completely forgotten that Trent played minutes for England because I don't pay much attention to international football. So yes, now I think he will start tomorrow, now that I remember that he's gotten those minutes in his legs. Right, some more of your comments before I finish up. I'm going to carry on for another 5 or 10 minutes. If Brewster leaves, we definitely go into the market. I'm so nervous, man, about the thought of losing Rhian Brewster. I don't want to lose Rhian Brewster. I can understand him going out on a loan. That'd be sound. I'd have no issues with that. But this whole idea about selling him, even with a buyback clause, it just doesn't sit well with me, and it doesn't scream belief in the player either from the club. Who's the most overrated player right now? I'm trying to think about this one. I'm trying to give an honest answer to it. Who's the most overrated player right now? I'm looking through United's team. Fernandes, to be fair, probably earns his praise. Greenwood's done well. Manchester City, they're all pretty proven. It's a tough one, that, man. I'm trying to be genuine. I'm not going to give you an answer because it's smart. And I was thinking Pogba. Connor said Pogba, and my immediate thought was Pogba, alright, because he's yet to really live up to the hype since he's come back to Manchester United. But I do agree that on his day, when he's at it, Paul Pogba's a very good player. Do you know what? I'm going to go with Manchester United's captain. I'm going to go with Harry Maguire as the most overrated player. Harry Maguire is a good centre-back, but he should be nowhere near being the world's most expensive centre-back. So yeah, I'm going to go with Harry Maguire as the most overrated player. Just because he's the world's most expensive defender, and I think that's laughable, if I'm being honest. Good Premier League defender. I'm not knocking him as a player, but to be up there mentioned, even in the same breath as Virgil van Dijk, to know that he costs more money than Virgil van Dijk, I think it's comical, to be quite frank. Right, what have we got? Griezmann is another good shout from Prometheus. Yeah, his career has kind of gone off the cliff a little bit since he moved from Atleti to Barca. Ozil is another good shout from Mr. Crosby, but I don't really know that many people rate Ozil too highly these days. He's more of a sit there and collect me wages and talk about politics kind of dude at the minute, isn't he? Do you think Trent should have won PFA Player of the Year? No, I don't, if I'm being honest with you. I think that I've got to be honest, I can't argue about Kevin De Bruyne winning it. He had a fantastic season. He's a classy footballer, there's no doubt about it. Frightens the shit out of me whenever we play against them. I've got to be honest, I really think Kevin De Bruyne was a worthy winner. If Hendo had won it, or Van Dijk had won it, or Sadio had won it, I would have thought you could make a case for them as well. Trent had an outstanding season and thoroughly deserved the PFA Young Player of the Year award that he won. But I think he'll win a PFA award. I just don't think this year was the year for him. He's only 21 though, so still plenty of time. Daniel James is a good shout as well, but I just hate to write off a young player like that who's only just come in and had one season at United and still relatively young. So I try to give him a little bit of leeway like that. I just subbed, said Luca Hawkey. Thank you very much, Luca. Lovely to have you with us. It doesn't look like we're going to quite get to 45k on the stream, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, but I tried. If you are still with us and you haven't subscribed, there's still about 5 minutes to do it, and let's see if we can hit that 45k on the stream. Moise Keane is overrated, said Bohemian. It hasn't worked out for him yet at Everton as things stand, but they've done some decent business in this window for them, Everton. Obviously, James Rodriguez coming in. It's a bit of a gamble on that one. Could go either way. Could get an absolutely fantastic player there, or you could get somebody who picks up a lot of injuries and his career's a little bit stop-start. Alan from Napoli, not really an overly sexy signing, but a decent piece of business. And Decore isn't too shabby. So Everton probably do well this season. They'll probably manage to break the top 10 again, which would be tremendous for the Ev. Well done. That's about all they can hope for. I can't see them getting a European place, if I'm being honest. Love the new training jersey, said Caspia. Yeah, some of the new Nike stuff is nice. It's a little bit pricey, but yeah, it is nice. There's a hoodie I love, but I'm not paying 120 quid for the hoodie. It's ridiculous. Do you think Mo Salah should have gotten the Ballon d'Or in 2018, or Luis Suarez should have gotten the Ballon d'Or in 2014? Yeah, it was difficult. I think the biggest robbery of all was Virgil van Dijk, by the way, last year. I think him not getting the Ballon d'Or was an absolute shambles. I mean, Messi won the Ballon d'Or with worse stats than he had the previous season, if I'm correct. I didn't agree with that at all. Love Messi as a player. Greatest of our generation, in my opinion, but should have been Virgil van Dijk last year. This year, I actually feel like Robert Lewandowski is going to be a little bit screwed because the season that he had with Bayern Munich going on and winning the Champions League, the fact there's no Ballon d'Or this year, I think will or this season ahead will is a bit unfair on him, if I'm being quite frank. Everton will get 7th, said Connor. He's gone balls out and given them 7th. Who will be our man of the match tomorrow against Leeds? I have no idea, Aziz. I mean, I don't know. I haven't got a clue. I mean, if I could predict that, mate, I'd be laughing. Craig Maguire couldn't lace Van Dijk's boots, said Ian. Yeah, I don't disagree with you, mate. He's not the same calibre of footballer. Liverpool fans should be scared of Everton this year. Yeah, I'm terrified, mate. I'm staying awake at night just seeing Carlo Ancelotti's image in my head. Oh no, actually, when I think of Carlo Ancelotti, I think of 2005, don't I? Whoop whoop! Yes, Craig, I'm so pissed at Chris Legit. Wilfred Boney, there's a show. Connor said, still don't understand why they called off the Ballon d'Or. It is weird, isn't it? It is weird. I don't understand it either. They definitely could have done it. I mean, even if they had to vote remotely or whatever, then maybe they couldn't have the big glitzy award show, but who cares? You know, who cares? Just give out the award. Base in the space, base face in space. I'm eventually going to get that name right, mate. I promise you. Said Lewandowski deserved it this year. Lewandowski was in pole position, to be fair, said Elijah John 5. Why is the Ballon d'Or cancelled? You know why, mate. You don't want me to say the words, but you know the reason we're all living the kind of lives that we're living right now. That's why it's cancelled. Josh Gold Bullion said, I hope Minamino starts instead of Hendo, and I would put Milner in for Wijnaldum. I don't think Hendo will start, mate. Hasn't got any minutes in his legs in pre-season. Probably be on the bench. And in my midfield, I had Fabinho, James Milner, and Takumi Minamino. But I can absolutely understand Gini Wijnaldum getting a spot in there. No coincidence that Everton have nil on their shirt at Elijah John 5. I mean, there you go. Hey Craig, had a few pints, I should say, raring for a win, said Scotty. Good man, Scotty. Get him into you, son. It's Friday night, why not? You've seen Everton's transfers, they look strong this year. Yes, spoke about them there a second ago, mate. They brought in decent players, but there's a big catch-up game to be had there from Everton, to be fair, and they still have little T-Rex boy in goal. So once you put the ball high, you know, you're scoring, because he's only got little arms, mate, you know what I mean? Rodriguez doesn't like the weather in Germany. He's going to love it here, said Jan Hanna. That is a real gamble, that sign, and I have to say, it's one that, if he could work very well. I mean, there's no doubt in James Rodriguez is a very talented footballer, but he hasn't really shown it in recent years as much as he could have, especially when he broke through. Everybody thought he was going to be absolutely, you know, the next Neymar, Messi, but it hasn't quite worked out that way yet. Craig, you should prefer us to win Craig, would you prefer us to win the Premier League? Where's that gone? Nope, you retracted it just as I was reading it out. There you go. Anyway, would I prefer us to win the Premier League or the European Cup, I think was the question. My answer is the European Cup. I know people will disagree and say they want to equal Manchester United's 20. It's all about European Cups for me after. We've won the Premier League this season. We've got the monkey off our back. And would I love us to win it again? Of course I would. But if I had to pick one, just one, give me the European Cup. Give me those glorious nights at Anfield. I love the European Cup. I'd love us to add number 7. I'd love us to add number 20 as well. But if I only had to have one, I would go with the European Cup. What's my second favourite sport? Boxing. I mean, most people that watch the channel know that I'm as big a boxing fan as I am a football fan. So, defo boxing. Right, look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to say goodnight. I'm going to have to bid you all farewell. It's been a really long stream tonight. It's been lots of fun. I really appreciate everybody for joining me. Don't forget to download the Flick Chat app. Flick Chat, link in the description. I'll be on there later on talking as well. The predictions are up, so go and give your predictions for the Leeds game. You still have time to do it. The app's completely free to use. Thank you to everyone for watching. I really appreciate your time as always. We'll be here 5 p.m. tomorrow for the pre-game before the Reds start the Premier League campaign at home against Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds United at 5:30 p.m. We'll be on Hot Mic. We'll be on YouTube as well. Take your pick. Hope to see you here. Enjoy your weekend if I don't see you, and up the Reds.